Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gashi Skyman 2, the tallest man in Black Africa. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this shirt I'm wearing is for KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank. And one of the things that you realize about KCB is that their customer services are excellent. They are very, very excellent. And you won't compare them with many private-owned banks. So if there's one government institution that I can say is run very well and customer friendly, it is KCB. So KCB, keep it up. We are proud of you. And if you don't have an account with KCB, just take a minute and maybe contact them and you enjoy their services. I've been enjoying their services for many years. So in this video, I want us to look at what Nairobi portends in the coming years. Because if you ask me, there are things that are happening in Nairobi and they are going to shape the politics of this country. Yesterday, when we heard William Samoei Ruto talking about the police and telling them that they should only take legal orders. For those of you who are very keen on politics, for those of you who are very keen on what is said and not said, or what is not said and it is said, because here, what was not said is what was said. He was not only addressing the policemen, he was also addressing Rigathi Gachagua. I'm saying this because of what Rigathi Gachagua had ordered Sakaja to do, that he should allow matatu owners to operate in the CBD. That is the message that was being passed to Rigathi Gachagua and Sakaja. He should only follow the constitution. I think I should also ask you a question in this video. Do you think other tribes, other than the Kikuyus, should have their own DPs? Do you think they should have their own DPs? Because if you ask me, the deputy president is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. But what we have is not something that is very clear to many people. The government or the governor himself should not be a subordinate to anybody. He should not be bullied. He should only take commands from the constitution and the law, and anything outside the constitution should be null and void. And I think now many people are saying that people are now realizing that it is not the hustlers who make leaders to be leaders. For instance, there's the Kikuyus, but not the hustlers, who made Sakaja to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. No, sorry for that. The governor of Nairobi. And many people don't know that most Kikuyus lives in chaos. That is the reality. Because that is why you realize that majority of the business owners, matatu owners, where there's chaos, the majority of them are the Kikuyus. They live in chaos you have never known. And again, I remember in 2007, when there were some skirmishes here and there, in Mount Kenya region in Nairobi, the Kikuyus were very busy buying businesses of other tribes. They were very busy buying properties, furniture, vehicles from other communities. And there are some people who made a kill. There are some people who became millionaires because of those kills. And it is now dawning on many people that Ruto only rented the Kikuyus. He never bought them. Sakaja is just a story. And you only need to listen to what Rigathi Gachagua has been saying for you to know what this means. So in this video, I want us to look at the effects of Nairobi politics in Nairobi itself and in Kenya in general. The first thing that is likely to happen in Nairobi from January is that a motion to impeach the governor could be in the offing. When you look at the governor, the way he has been dealing with bar owners, you see that they should not be in the estates. It is very, very easy that these guys are very, very influential. And also the matatu owners, they can easily buy the MCAs. And the MCAs can easily impeach the governor. And if Gachagua is not satisfied with Sakaja, he can also sponsor a motion to impeach the governor. So this is one thing that can easily happen. If this happens, then the second possibility is also likely to happen, whereby we will see Raila Amolo Odinga coming to the rescue of Governor Sakaja. And if Raila will decide to support or to save Sakaja, I think UDA will not be doing anything. The businessmen will not succeed. Because you agree with me that Raila controls Nairobi. Majority of the MCs in Nairobi are affiliated to Azimio. And Raila is one person whose word looks like a straw. People will follow what Raila say. And if this happens, then the bad effects will happen. Nairobi will be under Azimio. And this will be something that will be very, very interesting. Without much sweat, Raila is going to control the county government of Nairobi. Because normally, when somebody is cornered, he just go to any place, he just seek help from anywhere. When a bird is cornered, it can perch on any tree. Doesn't matter whether it's a thorny tree, it will just perch when it is tired and it had to perch somewhere. Again, UDA will evaporate in Nairobi. If this happens, the influence of UDA in Nairobi is going to evaporate. And you know, if Sakaja decide, and many people do not realize why Sakaja nominated the executive committees from Azimio. Because when you look at his government, you see there are some people from Azimio side. Many people do not understand what was happening. I think he was taking what I would call political safety gap measure, whereby a politician is able to see what is likely to happen and is likely to befriend the enemy. Again, we are likely to see high voltage politics in Nairobi. You know, Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya and East Africa in general. Also, in Nairobi, that is where things usually began. Now, what is likely to happen is that we are likely to see politics throughout instead of delivering services. Instead of having the kind of administration where that the what was it called? NMIS, that this was led by the general. You know, they were doing a good job. In fact, when you compare them to Sakaja, they agree that the general was doing something good. And the Kikuyu businesses are likely to suffer. Because definitely, because I know Sakaja will have his way. And when he has his way, it means the Kikuyus, even those matatos who are trying to force themselves in the city center. By the way, we cannot have the CBD as a market. We cannot have a chaotic CBD. We need order. So when Gachagua say that they should be allowed in the city center, when we are planning for the rapid transport buses and even the railways, the trains, rapid trains, I think that is where we should be headed to, but not having matatos all over in Nairobi, especially the CBD. Again, Gachagua will come out embarrassed. It is Gachagua who will be embarrassed. Because I'm saying, when Sakaja decides to work with the Baba, because that is a possibility, remember there are no permanent enemies in politics, only permanent interest. If Sakaja decides, or Raila decides to work with Sakaja, it is Gachagua who will be embarrassed. Again, I can see Raila having what I call bragging rights, and Azimio in general, because they'll be controlling Nairobi. And the bragging rights, for those of you who don't know, is something that is very, very interesting. It is something that has political value. It has political value. And when it has political value, the person who gets the bragging rights is perceived as the strong candidate. Because if you ask me today, UDA has the bragging right in Nairobi by the fact that the governor is the one who is controlling Nairobi. But when you look at Azimio, they have the majority of MCAs. So this one, the perception is Nairobi is under UDA government. But for sure, when you look at it from a legislative point of view, you see the Azimio is one who should be controlling Nairobi. The other thing is that this one is likely to bring some differences, especially the two tribes that have formed Kenya Kwanza. Because what will happen is that the Kikuyus will feel that they are being betrayed. And Sakaja, by the virtue of being said to be a Kalenjin, the Kalenjin will also feel that the Kikuyus are targeting them, which will not be a very good thing if you ask me. And it is important that they agree to work together. And this one can leave the Kikuyus very vulnerable, because when you have Azimio on one side, supported by supporting Sakaja, then the Kikuyus will be left. Because you see, what will happen is that Sakaja will have said you have his way, finally, and it is the Kikuyus who will be very vulnerable, especially their businesses. And what can this mean? It also means that Ruto can also easily work with Raila Amolo Odinga. It is a possibility. I've said there are no political enemies. There are no permanent enemies in politics, just permanent interest. I don't know what would happen if Raila starts working with William Samoei Ruto. There's a possibility. You know, when he went to USA, and there's a possibility that they met with Raila Amolo Odinga, I think the silence of Raila Amolo Odinga, because he jetted into the country, the studies back to the country, the silence tells a story. The silence is very, very interesting. It is not like Raila Amolo Odinga to go silent like this. So there's a possibility that these two people, these two strong leaders, can unite. And I'm telling you, if these two leaders unite, they can be very strong. They can be very, very strong. They can form a very formidable formation. And they can win the elections in the morning as the Kikuyus watch. And this is a possibility. Again, Gachagua can be like William Samoei Ruto in Uhuru's government, a president without functions. Yes, the functions are there in the constitution, but literally, when you come on the ground, not much is delegated to him. This is something that we saw in Uhuru's administration, when William Samoei Ruto was almost rendered a deputy without any functions. In fact, he was left with the functions of just inviting the president in public functions, especially in national celebrations like Jamhuri and Madaraka Day, Mashujaa Day. So there's a possibility, anything can happen. Ukiona mwenzako akinyolewa, nawe tia chako maji. Sio maneno yangu, ni maneno ya wahega. Again, the 2027 general elections is likely to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because I can see different formations. I want you to look at this. In 2002, we had NAC. NAC, by the time we went to 2007 elections, it was just a shell of itself. It was gone. It was dead. Kibaki came again with the PNU, Party of No Use. No, not Party of No Use, Party of National Unity. I'm saying of no use because Kibaki was able to. There was a time they were left with Mude Awori in the government, and there was no. Kibaki was a very interesting fellow. So PNU again. By the time we went to the elections in 2013, PNU was dead. Then we had Jubilee. Jubilee. By the time we went to 2027 elections, it was almost dying. That is what many people don't know. It was almost dying. Jubilee death started in 2014. If you have been following the politics of this country very keenly. And by the time we went to the elections in 2022, it was dead and buried. Where is Jubilee today? Because even the assets have been auctioned. It is useless now. It's just a shell. And that's what I'm saying. You know, if history is something, is a good teacher, then I can tell you, by 2027, Kenya Kwanza is likely to be a shell. That is my take. You can agree with me. I could be right. I could be wrong. Remember, I've told you that this Christmas, what we need is peace. What we need is tranquility. What we need is just be happy. Just be happy with yourself. Just take a soda. Accept the reality. We know that the times are very difficult. You know, people cannot make ends meet. You know, there's school fees ahead of us. Remember, there's some students who are joining Form 1. others, especially the KCSE that was out. And let me take this opportunity to congratulate all the KCPE candidates who were able to get their results, those who were able to come out successfully, because everybody is a winner in this election, in this exam. And may you have a blessed and peaceful Christmas. Bye-bye.